Here we go. This is a take 3. So hello, parents, guardians, and students. We've chosen to do this kind of a presentation as opposed to locking you into a certain time and a date. You're able to watch this recording of the presentation at your leisure, which I thought might be easier for everybody involved. Please, parents, share this with students because I'm sure they also have some anxiety and some questions, and hopefully this will help them be prepared for the first day as they get off buses or leave the car. So this year is going to be a great year. It's going to be a little different from last year, but like a roller coaster ride, we're going to ebb and flow, but we have our seatbelts on and it's going to be great. We're going to be fine and we're just going to roll with the changes. So I'd just like to start the presentation. If I can share my screen and share. Thank you, Ms. Korn. Nope, I hit the wrong thing. Present, there we go. All right, so welcome back, everybody. Just a few answers to some questions versus hybrid versus remote. Remote students are still going to have the same Sutton Middle School teachers as hybrid students. In their schedules, I've embedded a period for remote students, so that way that familiar face that they know they've seen around will be their teacher. Remote students will follow the 7-period day, just like their counterparts in the hybrid, with a suggested 30 to 40-minute lesson, depending on the lesson. Hybrid students will be joined eventually by their counterpart hybrid students when we do go full remote. For example, if you're in group A and there's 10 students in your group, and that same period there are 9 students in group B, when we go full remote, there'll be 19 students, so you'll see some fresh new faces when we go remote.
Mr. Goyette, where do I drop my student off on the first day of school?
Great question, Ms. Korn. So on the first day of school, if you dropped off at the bus is going to drop you off normally in the front oval in front of the high school entrance. And what you're going to do is get off the bus. You're going to travel down that outside hallway that's been designed by the architects, and then you're just going to enter the building by your grade level entrance. For example, I'll get to that shortly. Also, if you're a parent drop off, starting at 7:20, parents are able to drop off their students at the oval, and please be sure to pull all the way around as 60% of our parents are dropping off by cars.
Now, which entrance do I need to go through?
Excellent. Thanks, Ms. Korn. Here we go. Sixth grade entrance. You're going to come in through the main entrance. You're going to take a left, and you're going to sit in the cafeteria and take a seat at one of the desks. And eventually, the teachers will come and get you and bring you up to the classrooms. If you're a 7th grader, you're going to go to Mr. Cummins' room, like that side of the building, where normally if you were a band student, you would exit an entrance from band. So it's all the way around the shape of the building to that back doorway, and you proceed to your first period class. 8th graders, a little bit closer for you, you're going to use that door by Mrs. Hurley's room, and you're going to proceed to your first period class. We've made it so that the 8th graders are all on that side of the building. 7th graders are all on the opposite side of the building. And as always, 6th graders are upstairs in their own little pod.
What does a typical classroom look like?
So I took a picture. This is what we are making our classrooms look like. It's very different from what it normally would look like. We've used individual desks. We've spaced them out 6 feet apart from each other. And there's roughly about 14 desks per classroom. As a new building, we have the luxury of having a lot more space than if we were in the old building.
So what does the first day for hybrid students look like?
First day, what you're going to do is you're going to come in through, everybody will come in through the main entrance the first day. There will be teachers out there guiding everybody to make sure that everybody knows where they're going. 6th graders are going to immediately get their schedules, and they're going to sit at the desks in the cafeteria. Teachers are going to come and get you. 7th grade, you're going to go right through into the courtyard, get your schedule, and then you're going to go through Mr. Vajian's outside door and go directly to your first period class. Again, there'll be teachers around to help guide you so that you're not lost. 8th graders are going to go outside again into that courtyard area, get their schedules, and enter the building through Mr. Friedman's outside door and go directly to their first period class. That's if you're in cohort A. Cohort B, teachers will reach out to you and then they will see you on Thursday and you'll do the same entrance activity. First 2 weeks, so what are those really going to look like? Well, between September 14th and the 28th, teachers are all about relationship building. They're going to get to know you and you're going to get to know them. The additional part is they are going to set you up, your students, for success by making sure that you understand all of the tools that we're going to be utilizing for learning in a remote environment. So expectations. If you're off cycle, you have 3 days that you're working remotely. You're expected to work independently to complete all of the assignments, review concepts from the in-person learning experience that you've had. If you need any help, please contact your teachers. Also, if you have free time, you've gotten all your work done, pick up a book, do a little reading. There's an exciting adventure out there, I'm sure, that you can read. And if you need to, collaborate with peers if you have some questions that maybe I have a question, but I'm going to reach out to Ms. Corn and say, hey, did you have a problem with this math? Because I don't understand it. Can you help me? You know, we're all going to learn together. Remote expectations, if you're a 100% remote student, and when you become a 100% remote student, if you're a hybrid student, you have to follow your remote learning schedule. You're going to Zoom into classes on time and be ready to learn. You have to turn on your video so that teachers can monitor engagement. You can use those virtual backgrounds that I still have no idea how to use. And you're expected to participate in the lessons from chat, breakout rooms, collaborative work with peers. The teachers are being trained in all of the other little pieces of Zoom that we didn't have last year that we're going to use this year. So it will be very interactive and engaging.
What about Wednesdays?
Wow, Wednesdays. This is time for you as a student to check in with your teacher if you have any questions during afternoon office hours. You should be working remotely on any assignments throughout the day. Also, if you're a band or chorus student, it gives you an opportunity to connect with your teachers as a result of any lessons that you may have had. Lunch. Lunch is going to be a very different experience. We'll be sitting in the cafeteria at individual desks. They're going to be 6 feet apart. We'll potentially use any outdoor space that we can. The lunch line is going to be a grab and go from both a hot and a cold lunch. We won't be using trays. We're just going to grab what we want, and then we're going to go through the cashier line, and that payment will be touchless. Passing times. The teachers are all going to coordinate any passing period. We're going to utilize those doors that connect two teachers together. We're also going to use as much of our spaces as we can as we travel through to the next period.
What about band and chorus?
Band and chorus is going to look so different this year. Band is going to use the auditorium with grade level sections and seats. Chorus will be held in the chorus room with students being 6 feet apart. We're not going to be playing instruments during the day. However, once we move to remote, or if you are a remote learner, instrument lessons will be held remotely, so you will need your instrument. Mr. Falvo is arranging the student schedule so that students will have an opportunity, as always, to begin the class with their teacher, find out what exactly is going to be happening. They're going to exit the class and zoom in for their lesson. Lessons will be distributed in a student schedule so that students do not miss the same class in a row. And that Wednesday is a perfect time for you to go back to the teacher who you had a lesson and you missed and find out exactly what the activities are, what do you need to do, and what to turn in. Masks. Masks need to be those ear-looped masks. This is an example of an ear-looped mask. Bandanas and gaiters are not acceptable. They don't work. Any note for a mask exclusion will need to be vetted by the school nurse. Families will need to provide masks for their students. And if you show up without your mask because you forgot, there will be masks available if you need it. Flu shot. Somehow or other, somebody decided that the state has required all students to get the flu shot by December 31st. More details will follow.
You mentioned masks, but what about mask breaks?
Mask breaks will be embedded in teacher lessons. It's always good that you start an activity and then there's a natural break in between going to the next activity. Teachers will figure that out within their class period, and they'll take you out of the building, loop around, and then come back in the building, weather permitting. We'll use as much outdoor space as possible and get as many in during the day. I know personally, this is really kind of hard to wear for a 45-minute period.
Now, you've been talking about the cohorts and the groupings. What's going on with that?
So right now, Ms. Mikulak is working on who's working remote, who's working hybrid, and we're going to try to break up the groups so that if you're a hybrid, we're going to get it so that they're equal A's as opposed to equal B's. Potentially, we are doing last name A through H, and then last name L through Z as cohort B, A through H as cohort A. Once they're in a cohort, students will be placed into a class and you will travel together throughout the day. When it comes time to the end of the day, you'll be dismissed first by bus. That way everybody in bus 1 will go, and then bus 2 will go. Bus students will exit through the entrance that you started with. That's the exit. And then once all bus students are out, we're going to ask any student who has a car pickup, they will all go out at the same time. And again, exit the same door that you entered. If you have any questions, and I'm sure there are many, you can email either myself at goyatg@suttonschools.net or Ms. Corn at corna@suttonschools.net.
Before we go, I have another question. When are we going to find out our cohort assignments and schedules?
Cohort assignments and schedules will be coming out probably by the end of next week. We're working really hard as we just ended the survey today. So now we're just trying to figure out who's in cohort A, who's in cohort B, who's working in hybrid, and building the schedule. It's going to take a little bit of time. Please be patient.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. And again, if you are a 6th grade parent, there will be more news to follow. I will have a separate presentation about 6th grade and what 6th grade looks like at the middle school. Thank you, guys. Bye.